You are crazy. You are cray cray. Well, that is the topic of discussion for today. So, a lot of people, men mostly, have been calling women crazy for quite some time. Well, I'm going to try to basically explain whether or not women are actually crazy or not. So I've been dating for the last year. I've been doing my Tinder thing, my OkCupid thing, and it has been interesting to say the least. So I want to talk specifically about this whole women are crazy thing. Now, before I get started, I would say the correct answer for me, anyway, is not that women are crazy, but there might be a lot of women who are. And the even bigger picture than that is that humans are crazy. So don't make it a gender thing. Everybody always wants to talk about gender, right? But perhaps it's a problem with humanity. So it doesn't matter what gender you are. But let me talk about some of the common behaviors that I've seen with women that I've dated in the last year that I would consider to be a little bit Looney Tune. Um, I would say one of the most common things I see that's a little bit crazy is the whole thought process that a lot of women, grown women, 20s, 30s, even 40s have. They still have this ridiculous Walt Disney notion of love at first sight. Not saying it can't happen, but a lot of women are way too caught up in that. They're looking for this magic. They're just totally disconnected and delusional in terms of, their understanding of what reality is. So they go on dates with guys and they're hoping right away they're just gonna know. I just have a feeling deep down inside. My gut tells me, my heart will speak to me. Oh, this guy is so handsome, and something about him, I don't know what, it just makes me want to kiss him all night long. Oh, ladies, ladies, ladies. That is just not how it works. Sometimes it does, and it's nice when it does, but most of the times it doesn't work that way. Sometimes these things that you regard as connection, as fire, as spark, takes time to build and to grow. But unfortunately, if you have this magical attitude of expecting magic and it's lightning and whatever, um, you could be bouncing around from guy to guy to guy. I don't mean you're dating them like in a relationship, just even going out on one date, a bunch of first dates, meeting a great guy, moving on to a next one, a next one, a next one, meeting another great guy, moving on to the next one, next one, the next one. And wait a minute. You just met two great guys. What happened? Why didn't you go past date one? Oh, because there wasn't any spark. That's a little cray cray. A grown woman should know better than that. Maybe a young girl I could see, but as a grown woman, you should understand these things take time. Why don't you take some time and do some research and see about how this stuff actually works? Falling in love, what is it really? And how does it work? There's a lot of information out there. Do the research, learn more about things. Don't just go wandering around blindly like, oh, it's not when you're looking for love that you find love. It's when you're not looking that love just magically appears. We have these stupid sayings that people have, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. If you really want to find love, you're really looking for a qualified person for you, it's not magic, it's real, right? So you need to be a little bit methodical. I know people like to be all, I want to be organic and just let things flow. And yes, that has its place. But if you're serious about finding someone, then you really need to take it more seriously. Now, everything else in your life, you spend the time and you plan and you prepare and you do the research and all this kind of stuff. But love, we're just gonna let it be natural, right? That's the plan. No, stop doing that. That's crazy. Now, the next thing that I see that's a little bit crazy is that a lot of women seem to be disconnected from pattern disconnection, disconnected from the reality of themselves. They spend so much time focused outward, and the guys and what the guys are doing and what they want from the guys and all this kind of stuff, right? Even looking at other women and what they're doing with their guys and how they're dressing, all this kind of stuff. Everything is outward, nothing is inward, right? But whenever you point one finger, you've got three fingers pointing right back at you. So, a little crazy to spend all this time being super judgmental about everyone around you and spending no time, almost no time, looking at yourself, right? What are you bringing to the table? Now, one of the results of this kind of disconnected behavior is that I hear women saying things like, for example, I will mention to a woman some of the crazy things that I've seen other women do, and they'll agree with me like, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I can't believe women are like that. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Oh, some women are crazy. Yeah, that's really stupid. And then they proceed to do the very same thing. What? What? How can you agree with me and then you're going to do the same thing? Because you're disconnected from the reality. Why are you? Because if you don't take the time to make a conscious effort to actually look within and see who you are as a person, what you're bringing to the table, evaluate your actions, listen to the comments that are being made by the guys that you're dating. Don't just automatically blow it off. Wow, what do they know? They know what you look like from the outside. That's what they know. Not saying everything a guy says is going to be valid, but they do know something that you don't. You can only see the world from the inside out. You're looking outward. You cannot see yourself from the outside. The guy can. So next time a guy has a negative comment, before you in one ear and out the other, think about what they're saying and see if there's any validity to what they're saying. Because maybe, just maybe, they've picked up on part of your crazy that you can potentially fix, and that can potentially help you to find the guy you're looking for. So listen, right? Stop looking so outward. Now, the other thing that I've noticed is that a lot of women are super judgmental. Super judgmental. It's like, as a guy, you have to be on eggshells. You could be going, things be going really good, great conversations, great dates, and you say one wrong thing and she's out. Oh, he's crazy. And then she'll ghost you. Ghost you. After giving you all these great compliments, oh, great conversation with you, you're so sweet, you're so this, you're so that, one wrong move, one wrong word, and they're out. That's crazy. For a grown woman to be that sensitive, that judgmental. As you can look at a guy that has this good, that good, this good, that good. Oh, not so good. And I don't care that it's a trivial thing. It just doesn't make me feel right. So I'm just going to run away, right? I'm going to run away because of this one little trivial thing that I'm going to magnify and make it look like it's a big deal. Now, with so many low quality guys who are immature, who are dishonest, who are insensitive, who are selfish, unclean, bad hygiene, who don't have a good job, so many of them men that are like that. And you're going to find a guy who is not those things, who is honest, mature, good communicator, all this kind of stuff. And you're going to run away on some trivial nonsense. Not that he stood you up, not that he stood you up, not that he lied to you, not that he's looking at other women while he's dating you, not that he was rude, not that he was selfish, not that he smells. Maybe he doesn't kiss you the way that you want to be kissed. And rather than teach him, you run away. Maybe he gives you the impression that he feels too eager. Feels too eager. I don't want an eager guy. I'm just going to run away. Never mind all the wonderful things, right? I'm going to run away because of that, right? Little silly things that women magnify and create problems. And then they end up with a guy who has real problems. He's a liar, cheater, selfish. And then they complain. Oh, this guy is so horrible, blah, 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 blah. But yet you passed up on a good guy who has a lot of stuff that you're looking for. A little crazy. Just a little bit crazy. Now, the other thing that I found to be a little bit crazy about many women is the way that they're just kind of all over the place. I feel like I only know from my own experience, but I feel like as a guy, it's like I know what I want, I know where I'm going. It's like, let's do this, let's go, I'm ready to go. And it's always with a woman, it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe not, I don't know, all that kind of stuff. It's like, you're grown, you're 30, you're 40 years old, make up your mind. Be able to make up your mind. I realize that, women are different, you think differently, but still, I mean, look, I'm a guy. Guys are different, right? But do you see me walking around traditionally oblivious, right? That's one of the things about guys. Women will notice all kinds of details that a lot of guys will miss. Some guys can be sort of naturally they're naturally tending to be a little bit oblivious about things, but I'm not oblivious, right? The thing about it is, we as human beings, we have the ability to be more than just stereotypes, right? Just because women traditionally are this way, you're just going to be that way. Just because you're a woman, you can't think outside the box and be different. Like, as I'm a guy, I got to be into sports and, all this kind of traditional stuff. No, I don't let the negative traits, the negative sort of cliche traits of guys define me and hold me back. I have the ability to be better than that. That's a choice that I make. And a woman can do that as well. So the whole idea that women are just crazy and just how they are, no. Women are how they choose to be. Yes, your brains are different. Yes, you think differently. So there's going to be some level of difference between a woman and a man in terms of how you think. But you don't have to be so cliche. You don't have to be so stereotypical. You can depart away from some of these things, right? You can be decisive. You can be not so judgmental. You can decide to take time to look at yourself and not spend so much time focusing on the guys and what are they bringing to the table. What are you bringing to the table? You got a great body, you're beautiful, but you were born with that. What do you bring to the table? Your personality, your character. What do you bring to the table? Have you even spent any time to think about that at all? Or do you only spend time thinking about the guys and what you want and all that kind of stuff? Right? What's up with that? I'll give you some examples of some experiences I had that were kind of bizarre. I had a woman, I chatted online, Tinder, long first phone call. She said it was a great phone call, one of the best phone calls she's had in a long time. Right? So we planned our first date. I checked in with her the day of. She says, "Oh, you know what? The traffic looks really bad, blah, blah, blah. It might take me 2 hours. We should reschedule." So I said, it was supposed to be like 7 o'clock. So I gave her another hour. I said, "What about 8 o'clock?" And she's like, "What about next week?" Now, when we first started talking, we talked about how she's very busy. She said she's a workaholic. And I told her I'm very busy. And we talked about how people make excuses, you know, but it's like you can find time to do what you really want to do, right? So people talk about, oh, I'm busy doing something. You will always be busy, right? That'll never change. The only way you'll ever get anything done is you have to decide what your priorities are. And if dating is a priority, you'll make time, right? Just like how I make time. I'm very busy, run multiple businesses. I got a demanding job, right? I'm very busy, but I make the effort. So after all this talking, we're on the same page. She's agreeing with me, blah, blah, blah. Very first date, she cancels talking about traffic. Now, here's the thing. If the conversation was so wonderful and knowing how the quality of men can be very bad, it's hard to find a good guy. You meet, you talking on the phone, great conversation, you're getting a good sense about me, and 2 hours of traffic is all it takes for you can't make it. And I even give you more time. Like, what's the big deal? So we're supposed to meet at 7, let's meet at 8. Let's meet at 9. So there's traffic. What's the big deal? I can be flexible. So the time is not an issue. If you really want to meet, let's meet. But then fine, whatever. The thing that really gets crazy is what happens next. She blocks me. I think that same day I said to her, if she still wants to meet, let me know, blah blah blah. Because the way she behaved didn't really sound like someone that was all that motivated to meet. And I don't want to date someone who isn't motivated, right? I want to date someone who's excited as I am. She responded to my text saying that she thought I was insecure. Wow. So I'm insecure because I don't really want to waste time on someone that's not willing to put the same level of priority on dating as I am. Because I'm setting the bar for what I'm bringing to the relationship at a certain level, and I'm expecting her to meet me halfway, right? I'm not lowering my standard, right? I'm expecting what I'm giving out. And because of that, that means I'm insecure. Based on what? But then even still, the very last text she said with me was, I said, okay, we can do next week or whatever. And she said something like, thank you, something another, like, okay. Then I try to call her to schedule another day, and it goes straight to voicemail. Long story short, she blocked me. This woman is 38, 43, something like that years old. And she blocked me, not because I was rude, not because I was harassing her, but simply because I was willing to make an effort, more effort than she was, to meet. Like, the whole thing is, I love the conversation. I wanted to meet her. So sue me. Like, what sense does that make? Like, isn't the goal of a woman who is dating to find a guy that you're into, who's into you, who wants to meet you, who's motivated to meet you, who will adjust his schedule and make effort to meet you, who will have desire to meet you and to learn about you? Isn't that the goal? So you finally find a guy who is willing to put you first and willing to prioritize dating, and not only do you run away, but you block the guy like he did something wrong or offended you, or you tried to touch your butt or something inappropriate. In our 30s and 40s, why can't we talk? Like, she felt I was insecure. She was totally wrong about that. But she couldn't even talk to me about it. As a grown woman, she couldn't pick up the phone and express her concerns and hear my feedback. I feel that what you did made me feel like you're a little bit insecure, right? Fine. I'm a grown man. I'm not gonna die or start crying, right? So let me respond to you so we can get on the same page. Because maybe you misunderstood something. That's the beauty of communication, right? And in their 30s and 40s, we should get that. But no, her response: block me. You meet a guy, have a great conversation. The guy seems great. Try to plan a date. You cancel on it for a flimsy reason. The guy doesn't get upset with you, but he tries to be flexible. You don't take that. You say, let's do next week. The guy tries to schedule that. You feel he's insecure, so you block him. Little crazy. Just a little bit crazy. Another woman that I dated, we didn't go on that many dates, 3, 4 dates. We were intimate, and she would send me these texts about how aroused she was by my voicemail, by the sound of my voice, really, really driving her crazy. She was listening to my voice message over and over again. It was really, really turning her on. I won't get too graphic in terms of how she was describing her physical reaction to my voice message. That's where we're at. And that's how we ended up in bed. But she was emotionally unavailable. So it was like on, off, on, off, on, off. That long off is the end, where she let a month go by where we weren't talking at all. The last thing she said to me is she's got this wedding coming up. She's planning this. She's not even talking to her friends in general. She's just overwhelmed, blah, blah, blah. Check back with me in 2 weeks. Check back in 2 weeks. No response. Waited a few days or a week. Checked back again. No response. Called her. No response. Then I got a little bit more aggressive. I think a month went by and I sent her a message a little bit more aggressively, trying to say, at this point I had moved on, but she turned me on. And I'm like, hey, you know what? You want to move on? Fine. But, let's end things on a little bit more fun or positive note, shall we say. Use your imagination. Anyway, in her response to me, saying that it was inappropriate, my message to her, she mentions that just like what I said about women, she says it about me, that my perception of reality was a little bit different than what was really reality. And then she downplays the experience. We only went out on a few dates, blah, blah, blah. Really, like, it wasn't a big deal. And you have this idea that it was greater than it was. No, you were the one who sent me messages about how turned on you are and aroused and all this kind of stuff. You were the one who we talk on the phone in the evening and then I have to go, and then you text me later asking me to call you again. Let's talk again to say goodnight, she says to me. Like, we just spoke for a good while. You want me to call you again just to say goodnight? But I have a perception of reality that's warped, right? It wasn't a big deal. Yeah, no big deal. Just a few dates. Yeah, listening to my message over and over again, and that's getting you so aroused. Yeah. What was I thinking? How crazy of me to think that she was really into me, really turned on by me, right? I just had this crazy perception. Now, I made no indication that I thought she was in love with me or she wanted to marry me or something crazy like that. My only thing and focus was on the fun part of things in terms of how sexually interested she was in me. That was what I focused on in my final message. That was it. And I think I was very accurate given what I've told you about her. But yet she says, I'm a little bit disconnected from the reality of what happened. We're only on a few dates. Yeah. I only called her per her request in the mornings to wake her up as a human alarm clock. That was our little cute thing that we did. She loved it, right? But it was only a few dates, right? Not like we had any kind of connection. Not like she herself didn't admit that she was starting to really connect with me. One time early on, she saw me on OkCupid, and she told me that it really bothered her that I was online. Like, really? But my perception is warped, right? No big deal. Yeah. Extreme jealousy. You're not even in a relationship, like a committed relationship with a guy, and just seeing him on an OkCupid has got you all, oh no, he's on OkCupid. I'm not trying to make fun of her feelings, but I'm just to say at the end that, oh, just a few dates, your perception reality. Like, what? Really? Wow. So this is yet again another reason why men say that women are crazy, because many of them seem to be. And I could go on and on. I mean, I had another woman who there was something weird with her phone. I would call it and it would like ring and ring and ring and then no voicemail. And it kept doing that. And I was like, what's up with your phone? And it's like, she didn't care. She made no effort to try and fix it. And when I talked about it, it's like she'd pretend like she wasn't hearing what I was saying. It was just bizarre. Your phone is not working. Fix it. You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? I just don't get it. These are the things when guys say women are crazy. This is what they're talking about. So bizarre. I had a friend who she was going through a tough time financially. I spoke to her about how we could team up together. I wanted to hire her. I wanted to pay her money. The work I needed her to do was really, really simple. And I was offering her big money. What did she choose to do? Focus on some guy that she was dating rather than focus on her financial responsibilities. She's struggling financially. She has a great opportunity to make money from me doing easy work, but she rather spend time with some guy. That is crazy. That is crazy. And that's what we talk about when we say women are crazy. And there's so much to talk about. I really wish that I did these videos more in the spur of the moment when a lot of these ideas and thoughts are fresh in my mind. That's not the case now. It's been a long day at work. I'm tired. It's Wednesday. I'm supposed to be doing videos on Wednesdays on this channel, so I wanted to get the video out. But I will try to get that done more in the future. But this is what we're talking about. And again, I don't think it's women that are crazy. I think humans are crazy. women as a gender, they have their own craziness, just like guys, we have our own special craziness. But in general, humans are crazy. We're very logical, and we do a lot of really bizarre things. But in the situation of dating, all a heterosexual guy like myself cares about is women. All right. So the fact that men are crazy, not relevant. I care about the women, and a lot of them are very, very crazy. The stuff they say, I mean, even my friend, the stuff she would say to me sometimes just made no sense. She would say things, baseless things. She's got no basis at all for what she's saying. And I point it out, and she will just argue and spin around and around in circles. And I'm like, what are you saying? We went to the party. Everybody was sweating. Everybody was fanning themselves with magazines because it was so hot. And you're sitting here telling me that the party was cold. What is your basis for thinking that the party was cold? Oh, it was just cold. No, but what is your basis? What are you basing that on? Oh, it was just cold. That's crazy.